Hello, everyone. Autism spectrum disorder, as we all know, comes with a huge amount of lot of things that are needed to be done from the parent or by the parent, right? For example, after the diagnosis of autism is given to the parent, parents are told, okay, what are they told? They're told that, okay, your child is autistic. He needs 5 days a week therapy. 3 sessions will be occupational therapy, 1 session will be social skills, and 1 session will be language therapy. You have to come for the therapies regularly because only regular therapies are going to help the child. We will give you home plans after every therapy. You will have to go back home and do ABCD things for your child because that is also needed. Only 45 minutes of therapy per day might not be sufficient. See, there is a huge list that the parents get told, isn't it? Well, that makes sense because by research, if you see 25 hours plus per week of therapy is what is indicated if we want to have significant change in any child who has a autism issue. Now, imagine 25 hours per week means it will be 3 to 4 hours per day that the parent will have to put in the child only for the autism related stuff to work upon. Now, all these things the parents get told, but if parent is expected to do all of these, don't you all think that we have to start talking about first the parents, because he is the one who is going to get the child to the therapy. He's the one who's supposed to do all the things at home. And if all of this is going to come, how are we expecting the parent to just right away start doing? Because all this implies a major shift in the parent's life. Many of the times, if so much has to be put in for the child, one of the parent might need to take a complete break from work. Financial aspects come in between. Each therapy session minimally costs, say, about 500 rupees, and somebody is suggesting 4 or 5 sessions per week. It amounts to almost 2,000 per week, and that would go to 10,000 per month, and that means 1 lakh per month of cost that the family has to suddenly start bearing just for the therapy. Why I'm putting out these numbers is because imagine the amount of load that the parents will come, that will come on the parents in terms of providing for the child emotionally, providing for the child for the therapies, providing for the child financially, providing their time. And all this the parents are expected to do. Interestingly, what I have seen that in our Indian context, at least, we feel that parents can do this easily because they stay in joint families. You know what? Honestly speaking, that might not be that easy, because once the diagnosis of autism is given, it depends that whether everybody in the family has accepted the diagnosis, has assimilated the diagnosis and need for interventions clearly, and whether all of them are on the same page. If grandparents are not and only parents are not, then they are still in a setup where they don't have any help to carry out all of these things. And once you have to do so many things and you don't have any sort of help coming from, which is majority of the times the thing that happens, then the amount of parental stress that comes in is enormous. I don't think that people who have neurotypical children or like so-called normal children will be even able to imagine or empathize in true sense that what it means when it comes to autism and parenting a child of autism. Unfortunately, again, in most of the countries, you don't have proper parental interventions designed along with the interventions for the child. All the interventions designed are child-centric. All the therapies are directed towards the child. But we need interventions even for the parents in terms of maintaining their psychosocial health, making them much more resilient to face and take up the journey that lies ahead. And that's why it is essential that we start talking about parents. We, as in everybody of us, be a professional, be somebody who knows a parent whose child is going through that journey. Well, as a professional, I would like to say here that Many times when a child is taken for the therapy by the parent to an occupational therapist or to a speech therapist, can they also start asking the parent that, okay, this is what you have to do for the child, but I want to know, how are you doing firstly? Are you able to manage things? How are you putting up with managing so many things of the child? You know, a simple question asked by each professional who is dealing with the child, a simple question asked to the parent, apart from telling them 10 other things, will make a major difference. Many times we as professionals land up in a zone where we think that, you know what, whatever thing that the parent might be going through, they need to keep it aside and just focus on the child, and it is not probably my job to take care of the mental health of parents. Well, in a way, agreed, but honestly speaking, we don't need to be a shrink or a mental health professional to ask a simple question or to display empathy towards parents, because these small things together serve as a source of motivation for the parents. They serve as a space for the parents to express themselves, their difficulties in conducting the therapies or having the child the therapies done. That freedom of space and that freedom to express will make you as a professional more clear about the problem, and you will be able to guide the parents better, which in turn will impact the interventions that you are using for the child, and that will definitely help all of us as professionals also to have more positive effect on the child if we can talk to the parents about their state too, irrespective of the fact that whether you are an occupational therapist or a speech language therapist or a developmental pediatricians. Why we need to talk that? Because every time if you say to a parent to go to a mental health professional and seek help for their own concerns and resolve their own emotional issues to take care of the child better, that will not happen for various reasons. Again, the stigma that comes in terms of visiting a mental health professional, although it might be essential, the financial aspects again, the time aspects again, कि मैं मेरे बच्चे का थेरेपी देखूं या मैं खुद थेरेपी के लिए जाऊं या मैं खुद किसी हेल्प के लिए सेशन लेने जाऊं. So all these things make the parents very difficult, or put them in a very difficult position to go out and seek help for their own things to get resolved and to help child better. So it is duty of everybody of us who knows a special needs kid parent to see to it that we ask them if they need help. We try to be there for them. We try to be non-judgmental. We try to be empathetic towards them. Apart from that, let me tell you one more thing is that all the parents who go through this entire problem, they land up in lot of not just psychosocial stresses but also physical health issues. I have met mothers who have gained 20 kgs after the diagnosis of autism is given to their family. I have heard a lot of mothers telling their tales that I'm not able to sleep at night. I get up at 2 a.m. in the morning. I eat a bunch of cookies. I eat a slab of chocolate, and that's how I relieve my stress. Lot of mothers, lot of parents go through these kind of things, which put them into a higher risk of developing physical illnesses in themselves. And this is a very ground reality which is happening, and that's where we have to be very alert to identify also that if you know somebody who is having special needs kid, try to see whether this person is the same as he was prior. Do you think that he's going through a lot of stress? Do you think that his physical health is changed? Do you think that he's looking tired? If yes, you identify and talk. We as Indians have this little strange thing where we jump in to give advices, but at times we just back out when somebody needs us, saying that कि नहीं नहीं वो तो उनका मामला है, ऐसे कैसे हम पूछे. You know, but I think if we can jump in to give advices, we can also jump in to ask if they're doing fine, right? That is how the sensitization will occur in the society. That is how these parents will have their journey much more smoother, and that is how the child eventually is going to benefit.